Welcome, I'm Ingrid, and today I have a really fun project for you. We are going to be making these fun faux metal little charms or ephemera, and so if you want to learn how, stay tuned. Also, of course, if you're not subscribed, I would love for you to do so and join our family, as well as give the video a like if you enjoyed it. So I went into Harbor Freight and I got this aluminum foil tape, and it was funny because the guy was asking if I needed any help, and I didn't want to say, no, I don't really need tools. I need craft supplies. If you've never been in Harbor Freight, I definitely suggest that you go and take a stroll inside of there. It's a smaller store, so it's not as big as like a Home Depot or Lowe's, but they're friendly and they have a lot of things that you can find for crafting. Okay, so I'm taking some of these die cuts that I had cut like 100 years ago, and I had put them in a baggie, and I'm going to take them and stack them on top of each other, gluing each layer down. I found that the magic number was 4, but I wasn't using very thick cardstock, so you might want to just play around with the measurements. So I experimented here with first cutting one piece, putting the die cuts down and adding the tape. And I feel like that was not efficient. I also tried using my bone folder, which was kind of leaving scratching marks. So I grabbed a microfiber, but that wasn't strong enough. So as I'm cutting, I was thinking I do have some clay tools that I think might help. I also tried sanding the edges, but I really don't think it's needed. The tape is not that hard. So what I did find was the best method of doing this is to actually cut a piece of the tape, open it up, which that was probably the hardest part because it kind of gets a little finicky. But I would cut it, fold it over like you saw me just do there, and then rub, mark out where the lines are. So the other way that you could do is actually put one of your die cuts on, add the glue, and then add the other die cuts on top of that. So here's the little tool that I was telling you about. I believe it's for clay, and I think that it came out really good. I was kind of worried that it was going to have scratching marks, but it really didn't. And once we distressed them, then you can't see any marks at all. This project was inspired by Crafty by Tony here on YouTube, and she worked with I don't know if it was the same tape, but it was something similar, and I wanted to try it out. I love all things metal. I don't know about you, but I think that with pretty things like pinks and, like girly colors, I think that it's an awesome contrast. And then, of course, with like your Tim Holtz, your blacks and your tans, it's an awesome contrast too. So for me, this is a win-win situation. So I'm grabbing some alcohol ink, and you're going to see I'm just playing. I'm just adding colors that I think would be good. Then I'm also adding some alcohol to see if I can move it around. The alcohol allows me to kind of get into the crevices more and allows the ink to be more liquid, if that makes sense. And just like we've done the tape before, you're just going to want to play with it. I love this little tool, the air blower, but you really don't need it. If you wanted to, you could get a straw and just blow out of the straw to move the ink around. This is probably my favorite part, just to see the colors moving around, and it's like magic right before your eyes. Also, what I would say is don't fret too much on this part. Just let it happen. Let them dry. You can always add more if you want to. But when I came back the next day, they were beautiful, and I couldn't wait to start creating with them. For all the pieces that you see here, I just used regular alcohol inks, but for this butterfly, I decided to use an alloy or a metal one. Now, a tip here that I learned the hard way is that I think they settle to the bottom, so make sure that you shake it before you use it. I also want to encourage you to use kind of outside of the box colors. I added some green here, and once I add the other colors on top, you can see there's very minimal green, but there does leave an undertone, and I'm going to tell you, in real life it is beautiful. And I also think that you'd get a really good effect like using something like a dark blue. On this piece, I decided to, instead of cutting around the border, I was going to leave the metal on it. And I wanted to show you up close how fun it was to play with the alcohol inks. They move so yummy, and honestly, if you're a perfectionist and you want to control everything, this is not the project. But what it will do is help you to get out of that box of allowing the inks to kind of do their thing and move around and just like do their magic. Now that we're done, I'm just going to take a few tags that I've cut up with some cardstock and decorate them. So I'm just pulling some papers that are kind of similar and just layering them on top of each other just to get a nice texture. I want the star of the show to be the butterfly that has the metallic alcohol ink, and so it's kind of a lighter piece, so I went with lighter colors underneath, and I layered it and created a little tag. And I think my favorite part is that trim that I used up at the top. When you see it, I think you're going to love it. Leave a comment down below and let me know if you love it. I think it reminds me of cotton candy, and I'm a big cotton candy lover, at least whenever we go to Disney World. So really, you can make these projects as intricate or as simple as you want. And I just wanted to show you some examples of how I use these pieces. And I would love to know if you have other ways that you would use a little metal piece like this, or I should say a faux metal piece like this. And I thought about maybe as a dangle on a charm on a paper clip, but I'd love to hear your ideas and how you'd use this. The nice part about working with the tape, that even though it looks like metal, you can actually staple right through it really quickly, as well as glue it down. It takes to the glue pretty well. Outside of my better judgment, I went ahead and grabbed for the Fabri-Tac because of the trim being so thick. And when you know it, my Fabri-Tac was like gunked up. You can see there it's not moving. It's almost like the sticking dots. So I went ahead and used it, and it made a good adhesion, but I don't know. Fabri-Tac and I do not get along. So here you see the finished tag, and there's a little pocket up at the top. I did sew around the edges. I forgot to mention that. It's so cute and sweet. And wait until you see the other ones. They all have very distinct looks, but they are all like just really great projects. And also they don't take that long to make. And you can see that the metal is definitely the star. Even though this is the smallest piece, I think it's my favorite. I don't know if it's just the layering or the star, the alcohol inks on the top, but I love this one. Which one is your favorite of all of the ones that I made here? Oh, wait, I might have to retract that. I totally forgot about these dangly hearts. How adorable are they? Okay, now you have a big decision. Which one is your favorite? This really was a fun project, and I hope it inspires you to go and get some tape as well to go play. And of course, if you make anything and you want to tag me over on Instagram, I would love to share it with everyone over on stories. So I just want to thank you again so much for being here and for your kind comments and all your encouragement. It really means the world to me. Until next time, I love you. Bye.